Welcome back to Psych-sip Sessions, episode 2, Brewing Bonds, Understanding Attachment Styles. I'm Claire, your host, and today we're brewing up a conversation about something that shapes every relationship we have, attachment styles.
So I'm Megan, the co-host, and with us today we have
Kassandra!
So Kassandra, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Alright, so I'm a psychological science student from UOW, similar to Megan and Claire themselves. I love to dance on my free time.
Wow.
And I play hockey, I guess. Yeah.
I see. Anything else?
I've been just watching and catching up on movies. Yeah. I'm such a sad romance girl. Yeah.
Okay, are you a movie or a series show girl?
Oh, movie.
Why?
I don't like series.
It's
like
too
so
long, is it?
Because series you have to watch like many parts, right?
Yeah.
The
I get what
movie
you
just
mean.
watch one
Correct,
shot.
correct.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. What else can you tell us, Kassandra?
What else do you want to know about me? I have always wanted to join psychology.
Wait, what got you interested in psych, actually?
Actually, I've just always wanted to study about the brain or anything related to science. But I failed my math during O levels, so I got D7. So I couldn't go into any science courses. So that's why I went to mass comm. But I still love mass comm in general because I actually enjoy writing, journaling, blah blah blah. But after internship, I think I just know that it's not my cup of tea. And yeah, here I am.
I see. Okay. So we're so glad you're here to sit and chat with us, Kassandra. Speaking of sipping, what's in your cup today, Megan?
So today I had matcha latte.
I had matcha frap.
Today I have a sweet caramel macchiato. It was smooth, creamy, and a little bittersweet. Kind of like how attachment styles can feel sometimes, right?
Yes, totally.
The perfect comparison, if you ask me. So whether you're sipping coffee, tea, or even just water, grab your favorite drink and get comfy. Today we're diving into what attachment styles are, how they shape us, and what we can do to build healthier connections. Let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What are attachment styles? Simply put, attachment styles are the way we connect with others emotionally. They're like our blueprint for how we navigate relationships from childhood to adulthood. And this blueprint is shaped by the bonds we form early in life, especially with our primary caregivers, usually that being our parents. So how they respond to our needs taught us what to expect from the world around us, and in turn, relationships. This idea of attachment styles come from attachment theory developed by psychologist John Bowlby in the mid-1900s. He believed that the bonds we form in our earliest years profoundly impact how we connect with others later. Then, Mary Ainsworth took Bowlby's idea a step further with a famous strange situation study in the 1970s. This study observed how toddlers behave when separated and reunited with their caregivers. Based on their reactions, she identified different patterns of attachment, which we now call attachment styles. So there are 4 main types of attachment styles. As we all know, secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. But what do they all mean? Here's a quick rundown. So, number 1, secure attachment. This is the healthiest style. People who have secure attachment feel safe and confident in relationships. They are trusting and aren't afraid of closeness. Secondly, we have anxious attachment. These individuals crave closeness, but they worry about being abandoned or not being enough for their partners. Thirdly, we have avoidant attachment. People with this style tend to push others away, valuing independence over closeness because they're afraid of relying on someone else. Lastly, we have disorganized attachment. This one's a mix of anxious and avoidant behaviors. It often stems from chaotic or very inconsistent caregiving in their childhood, which can lead to confusion or fear in relationships. So, understanding these styles matter because they influence how we show up in relationships. For instance, they affect how we communicate, handle conflict, and how we deeply connect with others. For example, someone with a secure style might resolve conflict calmly, while someone with an anxious style could get overly emotional or clingy during disagreements. And these patterns don't just appear out of nowhere. They start forming in childhood based on how our caregivers respond to us. Did they meet our needs consistently, or were they unpredictable? Those early experiences shape how we see the world. If our needs were met, we are more likely to develop a secure attachment. But if they weren't, we might lean towards anxious, avoidant, or disorganized styles. The fascinating thing is, these styles don't just stay in childhood. They influence us as adults. How we behave in romantic relationships, friendships, and even at work. And understanding your own attachment style can be a game changer. It helps you identify patterns and make healthier choices in relationships. It's like holding up a mirror to yourself. Challenging, but so worth it. So now that we got the basic general definition down, let's dive deeper to explore how to identify your attachment style and, more importantly, how to work towards healthier relationships. So now that we've explored what attachment styles are, let's talk about how they play out in relationships. Attachment styles aren't just about romantic partnerships. They show up in friendships, family dynamics, and even work. For example, someone with a secure attachment style might feel comfortable opening up to friends and seeking support when needed. On the flip side, someone with an avoidant style might keep people at a distance even in close friendships. And in romantic relationships, these styles might really come to the surface. So let's break it down. For those with anxious attachment, fears of abandonment can be a big challenge. They might constantly seek reassurance from their partner. Things like, "Do you still love me? Are you mad at me?" Which can create a cycle, right?
Sorry, that is so true. I'm literally like that. Like, actually, oh my god, that's so true.
So, right, their partner might feel overwhelmed by the constant need for validation, which can strain the relationship even further. And for people with avoidant attachment, conflict can look completely different. They might withdraw during disagreements or shut down completely to avoid feeling vulnerable. It's like their defense mechanism kicks in and they build a wall instead of addressing the issue. So this can make resolving conflict really tough, right? On the other hand, someone with a disorganized attachment style might swing between anxious and avoidant behaviors. One moment they're seeking closeness and next they're pulling away, which can be really confusing for both them and their partner. The good news is, understanding these patterns can help us work towards healthier connections. For example, someone with an anxious style might learn to self-soothe instead of rely solely on their partner for reassurance. And avoidantly attached people can also practice being more open about their feelings, even if it feels really uncomfortable at first. These small steps can lead to better conflict resolutions and deeper emotional connections. Let's also talk about the mental health side of things. For example, people with anxious attachment might struggle with heightened fears of abandonment, which can fuel anxiety or even depression. So excessive reassurance seeking or feeling like you're too much in a relationship can take a toll. And for those with insecure attachment styles, feelings of loneliness or hopelessness in relationships are common. It's like they're stuck in a loop of wanting connection, but fearing it at the same time. Well, I hope you guys will be happy to hear what I have to say next, because there is hope. A secure attachment style can act as a protective factor for mental health. People with secure attachment tend to have better emotional regulation, higher self-esteem, and more satisfying relationships. So it's not just about relationships with others, it's actually about the relationship you have with yourself too. Securely attached people are more likely to seek help when they're struggling, communicate openly, and also trust that their needs will be met. So whether you're starting with a secure foundation or perhaps you're working towards one, knowing your attachment style is a huge first step in building a healthier relationship and taking care of your own mental health. And the best part is, change is so possible. We'll dive into how attachment styles can shift over time and the steps you can take to create more secure connections. Now let's talk about something that gives me so much hope, the possibility of change. Can attachment styles change over time? What do you guys think? While our attachment styles might feel like it's set in stone, especially if it stems from early childhood experiences, it's not a life sentence. Change can happen, but it usually takes intentional effort and sometimes the right circumstances. For example, major life experiences like trauma, therapy, and even a healthy relationship can shift our attachment patterns. On the flip side, an insecure attachment style can sometimes develop later in life too. A bad breakup, betrayal, or other painful experiences can make someone more anxious or avoidant even if they started off with a secure base. The process of change often comes down to awareness. Once we recognize our patterns, like constantly seeking reassurance or shutting down emotionally, we can take steps towards breaking them. So, how do we move towards a more secure attachment style? One key strategy is self-reflection. Take time to notice your triggers and how you respond in relationships. Journaling or talking to a therapist can really help with this. Another powerful tool would be mindfulness. Learning to sit with your emotions instead of reacting immediately can help you regulate feelings of anxiety or fear in relationships. And let's not forget setting healthy boundaries. This is especially important for people with anxious attachment. Boundaries teach you and others that your needs are valid without becoming overly reliant on external validation. I also think it's worth mentioning how important supportive relationships are in this journey. Being with someone who is consistent, patient, and emotionally available can help you develop more secure patterns over time. And healthy relationships can feel almost like re-parenting, teaching you new ways to trust, connect, and communicate. Speaking of personal growth, have you ever noticed a shift in your own attachment style? I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to lean towards avoidant behaviors. I was the really classic, I don't need anyone type. And on top of that, I used to feel really anxious in relationships, and I would constantly worry about whether I was enough. But I was really little back then. And over time, and with some really great friendship and a lot of self-work, I've learned to trust myself and others more, learning to open up to others. And I think because of that, I've become to be more secure, and I really owe it to everyone I have in my life right now. They mean so much to me. So enough about myself. What about you, Megan? What do you guys think?
I think, okay, I totally agree with that, like 100%. Because based on life experiences,
Yep.
right? I mean, yeah, I did go through lots of betrayals, like
Yep.
since young, like friendship betrayals and stuff. So I think that is what stemmed my anxious attachment style. Like I think that's what caused it to develop, because like as I mentioned earlier, like in the previous podcast, right? Like I genuinely didn't have any proper friends only until in poly. So I think, yeah, so basically I didn't have any friends from primary school to secondary school. Yeah, so you can just imagine my social circle being like, not even a social circle, it's like a social
Understand.
dot. It's like a dot. It's literally like a dot, because I would have that few friends, right? Or like lesser than most people. Because I have hard time trusting people.
Understand.
Because of like my past friendship
Yep.
betrayals.
Understand.
So because of that, right, I don't really trust people, or like I'm very careful with who I choose or who I make friends with. And also relationship wise, right, like romantic relationship wise, especially like if you're from a toxic relationship wise, I don't think that is gonna help someone who has already an anxious attachment style become better. You get what I mean? Become more secure. In fact, like what Claire mentioned, can cause the person to feel even more anxious than they already are.
Understand.
Yeah.
Now, how do you tackle that? Like from getting a lot of betrayals, and then after that, like to who you are like right now. I'm sure like you have grown, right? So how do you tackle
Yeah,
that?
definitely. I think like growing up, ever since from the betrayals, right, that I encountered, I think it just taught me like how to. Okay, wait. I hope this doesn't sound mean, but like it just like taught me how to see whether people or not are bad friends.
Understand.
So like usually my gut feeling is quite strong, honestly. So if it tells me that this person isn't a good person, right, I will just completely like steer clear away from the person.
Understand.
Because I want to protect myself. I don't want to go through another betrayal and then like the whole cycle of getting betrayed and like sad and whatnot again.
Yeah.
So I think from all these experiences, it taught me how to identify like toxic behaviors.
Understand.
And then basically just avoid them lor.
That's actually like, I think it comes also, I think that's why life experiences shape the way you are. Because if I don't think if you like have experienced such life experience like betrayals or trauma, then you just be like in your own bubble, like everybody love me lah, I okay lah.
Because imagine like someone who is in a secure relationship, right? And then suddenly they, let's say, okay, not say secure relationship as in not just like romantic relationship lah, but like in friendships also, just relationships in general. Okay, so let's say they are in have like secure relationships, and then let's say like throughout their entire life lah, then let's say like one day they suddenly like their friend and they have conflict with their friend or something, right? Then how are they gonna react? Like they don't know how to react or like approach.
Understand.
And they'll probably just avoid it lah.
No, honestly,
Or like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that because I just experienced it like recently.
Oh no.
I understand the fact that like you are so comfortable with where you are, the relationships you have with the people that are around you, that when a hiccup actually came, or like when something happened between you and that person, you are so lost. Like you don't know what to do, you don't know how to tackle the issue. And I think that's because like honestly, to be honest, lack of experiences of friendship breakups in general, like or lack of experiences in people like just putting you aside and focusing on themselves and that kind of thing, which is totally understandable and totally like fine. But at the same time, like you just, because of these experiences, you just tend to be more aware and realize that actually at the end of the day, you have yourself. Like if you are open to trying to revamp yourself in that sense, or trying to be a new person or new Kassandra in general, like you have to make it on your own. Like you have to put in your own effort.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna help you. Like sure, you can go therapy and ask the therapist to help you and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm sure the therapist will ask you to like do certain things for you to
definitely
improve. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's that.
Okay, so continuing from where I left off earlier on, right? I did talk about my past betrayals and like bullying incidents, right? But romantic relationship wise, I do not know why, but I always attract the weirdest people.
What do you mean by that?
As in like, I always, okay, because I'm an anxious attachment style kind of person, right? So I don't know why. Every time in romantic relationship wise, I will have the other party, like the guy, will just be someone that is avoidant.
Understand.
Like my past relationships, right, weren't the best, honestly speaking. So as someone who was anxious or like insecure in general, I think during these relationships, I think it didn't really did like good for myself mentally and emotionally, because of the like my needs aren't met. And I'm not even talking about like anything to the extreme that kind, but it's just basic need, like basic
reassurance.
Yeah, reassurance, all those like basic stuff that boyfriends should do, right? Yeah. So when I tried communicating it to like my partner, like basically I was just shut down by it. Like he didn't care lah. So obviously, as someone with such an attachment style, right, I will obviously feel sad. I mean, like, who wouldn't lah, right?
Yeah.
Honestly. So this kept going on, and over time, it just became to the point where it became toxic. So my mental health, honestly, wasn't the best. So after the relationship ended, right, when I got out of it, I felt so much better, like, as a person and to my mental health as well. And even some of my friends told me, like, you should care more about yourself than the other person, because like what you said earlier on, right, like people with anxious attachment style tend to put themselves first, because they okay like low-key like people pleasers
literally.
right, like they just want to like please the other party, that we tend to neglect ourselves and like care about ourselves. So on top of everything else plus that, right, I would say like it wasn't really the best, because like you have to face like your partner who wasn't like giving you or meeting your needs, and the fact that you didn't put yourself first. So like everything add up, then it just like like collapse.
Understand.
And like took a toll on you. Yeah, so I think because of that, then after I left, then after that, I felt generally better, like feel better as a person. And of course, I learned stuff from
Yeah.
like the relationship as well also lah. So I think experiences definitely do shape us to whoever we become in the future. I mean, we definitely may not be the same when we grow into adults compared to now, right? So who knows, maybe we can become secure in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand. So yours is like your partner not meeting you the halfway mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
not even halfway, not even a quarter.
Oh my god. It's okay, you're better now.
It's really sad. Sorry you had to go through it.
No, but okay, I think like I'm totally fine. Like I really feel like better
That's good, that's good.
after leaving.
That's good, it's fine.
Yes, Claire, stop. Stop outing.
I was
Now you
there.
made me cry.
I was there for it. I'm so glad
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
Claire was Claire was okay because like I was the first person that I called was Claire.
Understand.
And then I was like sobbing. I was like, Claire, why you do this to me?
Understand.
And then after that, like, I kept like messaging her because like anxious.
Yeah lah,
so
yeah
I
lah.
keep like
Correct,
texting her for like reassurance and stuff. But she tell me it like. Because Claire is the kind where like don't care sometimes. She'll just be like, it's okay lah, just let him be lah. But I cannot let him be.
Correct. I understand.
So like back then lah, but so like back then I kept thinking and ruminating.
I understand.
And then like I cannot sleep because of it. But after everything ended, Claire was still there for me. So I'm really
That's
thankful
good.
for her.
That's so cute, you
Okay,
guys.
Yeah.
but I kind of have something to say about this because not really in my defense, but
No, it's
to
okay.
me, I feel like when things happen, you shouldn't really care too much about how other people are and how other people treat you. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you can control and that's within your own area that you are in control of is that how you feel and how you react to it. You can't control what other
That's
people say and
true.
how other people act. All you can do is just make the most out of it and how you appraise the situation.
That's so true.
So it's like if you're holding on to it, then you're just holding on to additional hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
you-
said that phrase to me and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like you're giving
Whoa.
yourself a hard time. I think one thing that really changed my life was 100% taking accountability for my own happiness.
I understand. Oh my god, that's actually
Yeah,
so
Claire
true.
Claire was like, she was speaking facts to me. As much as Claire being there for me and like,
How much my words hurt.
supporting me and how much her words hurt in a good way because she was telling me like making me face the truth and everything. Sometimes you just need someone to hit you out of your delusions. And then only then you can let go.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
So Kassandra, any personal stories to share?
Okay, I'm gonna touch base on people pleasing. So for my story, I think that when I was in secondary school, I am such a people pleaser. Like I can never say no. Like I think to me saying no is like hurting them. Like an anxious attachment. So I will always say yes, and I always help them in any sort of way, like stay back in school or like go home late or lie and that kind of thing. I'll just like help my friends and people around me. Until I think when I was in poly, like you just tend to, you're exposed to a new bubble, you're exposed to a new environment. And when you're exposed to a new environment, you just tend to learn things the hard way. And because of that, I realized that by saying no is sort of your way of setting your boundaries.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Yeah. Because like when you say no, people will be like, oh, actually, well, why you say no? Like, you must help me, what? But then like, for yourself, it's like, you saying no because I don't want to do this and I'm just setting my boundaries that I actually don't want to do this. I don't want to like please you so much.
Yeah.
And so my story goes from the fact that when I was in secondary school, I always help or like support or say yes to everything that my partner says or like ask me, like help me like study or like whatever lah. I don't know lah. Like I'm just there to like support him. You know what I mean? But you're still young. Like what are you supporting, right? Okay, anyways. But as you grow older, like as I grow older, I'm able to learn that saying no on certain days, on certain events, is just not saying that I love him lesser.
Yeah, correct.
But it's just I actually want to take accountability of my own happiness, like what Claire said, because no is like no is not something bad. It's just like you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I think mine will be that.
Okay, I think one tip that really helped me, and it's kind of like my general rule, and maybe some advice for you guys, I think will obviously always be me before you. Always put yourself first.
Yeah. I think ever since like my struggles in life, I think I definitely have been putting myself first recently a lot. Even like it came to the point where like where, my friend told me that like I should take care of myself more. And then it struck me to the point where like, hey, that's kind of true because I haven't really been treating myself well because I've always been putting people first.
Yeah, understand.
And
Understand.
I think that's so anxious attachment.
Yeah.
it
It is.
That's why I have a mix of anxious and a little bit of secure, but it's in
Understand.
different areas.
Understand. Like for me, like I always say yes to every friend group outing because I don't want to feel left out.
Oh yeah, like
I want,
FOMO, right?
Exactly. I want to be like part of this whole thing and everything. But actually, once I year 2 poly, I started to like not really reply much. I just like because like sometimes going out on days where I actually don't want to go out makes it even more worse, you know, for our own mental health and our own body and everything. So why not you just say no, guys? It's okay. We can meet another time and let them go. Like now I'm like younger Kassandra will be like so FOMO, so sad that she never get to join her friend group outings. But I think now I'm definitely like, if you guys want to go, just go ahead. Like literally no hard feelings. Like enjoy. Like I just don't want to be there today. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Yay! Thank you, Claire. I think now my number one priority in life, even though like 2024 is about to end, right? I think like my number one priority in life is just me first, and after that friends. I mean like me and my family first, and after that friends.
Understand. That's so true.
Anyways, that's amazing. So I think that really just all goes to show while change isn't always easy, it's completely possible. So whether it's through therapy, mindfulness, self-reflection, or building healthier relationships, know that moving towards a secure attachment is a journey worth taking. And we're here cheering on you for every step of the way.
Yay!
Alright, it's time for my favorite segment, rapid fire questions. These are fun, quick, and give us a chance to share some personal insights. Ready, Megan and Kassandra?
Yes!
Okay, first one. Describe your attachment style in 3 words. I'd say mine is curious, hopeful, and healing.
Wow, so positive.
What about you guys?
For me, it would be overthinking. What? Support and caring.
Oh, cute. Mine is tiring, observant, and clingy.
Okay. Next, what's your love language?
I think for me, okay, I definitely have a mixture of like a little bit of everything, but I think my highest percentage is the gift giving.
Oh.
Yeah, did you all do the
I
love
did.
language test?
Yeah,
So
I
what's
did.
yours?
My first is acts of service, then words. That's my
I
top
see.
2.
Okay, for me, it would definitely be quality time because I know how hard it is to make time for everyone amongst just, everything. And someone else making time or like showing up for me in ways that matter just means so much to me, All right. What is your favorite way to show someone that you care?
For me, I would give them like words of affirmation, or like I will just buy them things, like things they like. Or like can be just like, just because gifts.
Yeah,
right?
I love that. For me, I've been starting to give people like when I bake or when I cook something, I'll make extra to pass it to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
so cute.
That's so cute. Okay, I think mine would probably be quality time as well because time means so much to me. And if I care about you, then I'll definitely go out of my way to make that time happen in spite of the hectic schedule that I have ongoing. Like, I will still show up and I will still be there for you.
That's cute.
Yes.
So, okay. Next, how about go-to comfort activity when you're feeling anxious?
For me, I would just like want to be alone because generally, right, when I'm anxious, I cannot really function.
I understand.
Like, it's just too tiring to function, Like,
So you just rather be alone.
yeah, like imagine like you overthinking or like anxious, then like all the thoughts in your head, right? Then after that, you still have to do like your day-to-day tasks.
Understand,
It's like super tiring. So I would just rot on the bed.
Correct.
Really? So you just be alone and do nothing?
Yeah, until like
Until you feel better.
yeah.
Oh.
I think like I would still like go out and like walk lah, but like I won't engage in conversations.
I understand.
Yeah.
Mine would be dance. I'll literally like
Dance
dance in
your
my
thoughts
room.
away.
Literally, like I'll like on song and I'm just dancing.
What kind of genre do you dance to?
I love my baby Tate McRae and Sabrina Carpenter, guys.
Wow. I love those two artists too. But I think for me, it would be a long walk with my favorite playlist. So now, if your attachment style were to be tea or coffee, what would it be and why?
I think for me, right, I can't really answer this question. Like, if, as in, like, because, like, if I choose tea, right, I will overthink if a different drink might have been more satisfying. Then if I choose
Oh,
coffee, the whole thing
wow.
will repeat. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
happens sometimes. Because sometimes I ask Claire, what should I drink? Should I drink tea or coffee?
Ah.
And then if she say, like, as in, like, matcha latte or,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
coffee.
yeah, yeah.
Then if she say, matcha latte, then I'll be like, but I feel like drinking coffee also.
Understand. Okay,
Then
okay.
Claire is, like, smiling sheepishly.
Okay, I think for me, I'm not a coffee person, so coffee is a no-no. But I think for my attachment style, I'll call it an Earl Grey.
Why
Just
Earl
because
Grey?
it sounds so fancy and unique that it requires people attention, which is what anxious attachment style requires. So sad, right? But yeah.
Okay, I think for me, I'd probably be green tea. I think it's very, soothing, calm, and light, but definitely can be bitter if left
That is
unattended.
true.
Oh,
That's true.
That's true.
I thought maybe that would be a cute analogy.
That's smart.
Okay, so next, what's the best relationship advice you've ever received?
For me, it would be to always put yourself first.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
because even though like okay, yeah, I understand that like family and like your partner, if you have one lah, can be very important to you, right? But at the end of the day, if you can't even be there for yourself, how do you want to be there for other people?
Correct, understand?
Yeah.
Mine would be to let the person figure things out on their own. Because like as much as you can like help someone or like advise them, at the end of the day, whatever you say will not go through unless the person want it to go through.
So let's say like what if someone comes to you for advice, then
Obviously, I'll say my own thoughts lah. But at the same time, I think I've learned the hard way that whatever you say, they will not 100% take it in. So unless they really want to change, unless they really want to take certain advice in, it's really up to them.
okay,
Yeah.
that's true.
I think so too. I think for me, it's listen to understand, not to reply. And sometimes at certain points of like the relationship, right, if this is all that's left, or like if this is all that there was, why are you afraid to lose? I'm a firm believer in walking away, so especially if your needs are unmet or someone is purposefully disrespecting you, I think it's okay to walk away from a relationship that isn't serving you, even if it's hard.
Understand?
Okay, how about this? How do you typically handle conflict? Head on or avoid it?
What's yours?
I think for me, okay, it actually depends on the person that I'm having conflict with. Because if the person is avoidant, right, then I wouldn't even bother.
Understand?
Because no matter what I say, they're not going to listen, right? So like, what's the
Understand.
point, right? But if the person is reciprocative and like someone that is understanding, then yeah, sure, I will handle it with them, like handle it here along with them.
Understand. Okay, I'm a non-confrontational girl actually, so I will always avoid. Over time, as you avoid the conflict, it becomes bigger and then you head on. That's me.
Okay, so it's time for me to share. I used to avoid it, but now I face it head on. Growth, right?
Wow.
So not that I confront the other party, but it's just that now I'm less tolerant of ambiguity in relationships. So I address whatever issues I can. So if I feel like this is something that I'm not comfortable sitting with, I will bring it up. And confrontation and conflict, it doesn't necessarily like always mean arguing with the person. You can always approach it gently. Yeah. So next, what's your favorite movie that explores relationships?
Okay, so for me, one that I remember up to today was The Fault in Our Stars, because it brought me so much joy seeing like how like two young teenagers just fell in love and going through thick and thin together, and the ending was so sad.
Oh.
What about you, Kassandra?
I love to watch Indonesian movies because I'm half Indonesian. So there's this movie called Ayat Ayat Cinta, which is just basically like verses of love, something like that. And it just shows that no matter how far of a distance you are with your partner and everything, you will naturally just have that abundance of love that's within you. And it might be hard to like express it, but at the end of the day, it will never fade. Even if death affects them, it will never fade. Like, this love will never fade. I feel like that's a sweet thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so I think for me it would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, because I think there's a lot of deeper meaning to it, and it gives such a raw look at love and loss. Okay, what's one trait that you value most in a friend or partner?
Honesty.
Being able to listen.
Ooh.
Okay, I think for me it would be either honesty or loyalty. But you know, as Kassandra already mentioned, honesty, I think more of like loyalty for me, because I'm someone who's fiercely loyal and I expect nothing short of that as well. So, alright, which attachment styles do you think is the most common among your friends?
I think mine is avoidant.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think because like not many of us might know how to like take in what other people have to say. You know, some of us can get quite offended.
Understand?
So some people, they'll just avoid
Keep it
it.
to
in
themselves.
general.
Yeah.
Then they'll just avoid it in general. And be like, I don't want to talk about it now.
Yeah. Same.
Same. Okay, I think for me, most of my friends are secure, and I think because of that, I'm a more secure person now, and I really owe it all to my friends.
That's cute.
Next, what's your biggest pet peeve in relationships?
Not being involved in the conversation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, it really irritates me.
Understand?
Like, imagine I'm talking to you, then after that, like, you not reciprocating.
Yeah, I understand. Oh my god, another one. Nonchalant.
Oh my god,
Like,
that's worse.
Bro, like, stop being nonchalant, please lah. Like, sometimes in life, right, you don't have to be nonchalant. Just talk to me. Like, listen. Like, no need to
It's
be
okay
like
to
act cool.
challenge, guys.
Literally.
Yeah.
But it's okay if you are. Like, it's okay.
I think mine's ghosting or like passive aggressiveness.
Oh.
Because just say what you mean. Like, come on, we're all grown ups. Yeah, okay. So one more. What's one thing you've learned about yourself in relationships?
I think for me is definitely learning how to say no. Yeah, because I was also a people pleaser. But what you said lah, like sometimes you just gotta put yourself first and set a boundary and just say no, and like don't care about what they think. You know, no means no. I come first.
Yep. Mine would be like, I realized that I'm actually so brave. Like,
Damn girl.
like you don't have to be so scared of other people. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's just you. So like,
Yes.
might as well just say what you want to say.
Correct.
Okay, I think for me is that I learned that it's okay to ask for what you need sometimes. Yeah, because I learned that I need to communicate my needs more clearly instead of assuming that people, you know, just know what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is such an important lesson, just
Yeah.
like you guys is. Okay, alright, next. Text or call, which one do you prefer when communicating with your loved ones?
Call. Sorry, I'm a call girl. Like, I cannot. I feel like text, right? There's so many hidden things, hidden tones and everything.
Yeah.
And like, I just want to call and like say it out loud.
Yeah, I think I think definitely. Okay, actually, I'm not a text person.
Okay.
But it depends on the context. Like, if
Understand.
it's like in the middle of solving something, then I would want to call, because like I just faster settle this now so that I can go on with life.
Yeah.
Agree. I think text for casual chats, but call for deep conversations.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that makes
Okay,
sense.
last question. If you can give your younger self one piece of relationship advice, what would it be? Mine would be learn to love yourself first. It'll make everything else so much easier.
I think for me is to be more kind to myself.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because I tend to be quite critical of myself.
Oh, that's true. I think mine will be, it's okay if you're alone. I think you don't always need people around you to make yourself happy. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So now on to the next segment. Alright, for this segment of Psych-sip Sessions, we're diving deeper into attachment styles with some additional insights. To help us out, I've consulted one of our esteemed professors, Dr. Chew, who kindly shared her thoughts with us. Although she couldn't join us physically, her expertise offers some fascinating perspectives. So, Megan, Kassandra, let's see what you think about some of her answers too.
Oh my God, okay.
So, here's the first question I asked Dr. Chew. What are the biggest misconceptions about attachment styles? Dr. Chew mentioned a few common ones.
Okay.
Number one being, if you or your partner have an insecure attachment style, your relationship is doomed.
Ooh.
And the second being, the secure attachment style is the ideal or only good style to have. Number three being, finally, the idea that some attachment styles are the worst to be in a relationship with.
Understand?
So she explained that having an insecure attachment style doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship is destined to fail. It just means that there might be more intentional work needed, but really every relationship faces its own challenges.
Yeah.
So whether they're attachment related or brought by, life's ups and downs. So Megan, Kassandra, what do you think? Have you guys noticed any changes, or have you guys noticed any misconceptions that come up in conversations or on social media? Or what about you guys as personal biggest misconceptions?
I think it's true though, because usually, based on personal experiences, usually people, when they know that you're someone that needs constant reassurance, even though it may sound annoying, right? But I don't think it's a bad thing, you get what I mean? Because yes, it might be more so-called tiring in a sense where because the partner need to put in more work to make the relationship work. Both partners need to make the relationship work.
Yeah.
But it's not 100%, this relationship is going to be filled just because you are someone that needs constant reassurance.
Understand?
Yeah. So I think it all comes down to both parties. I think communication, like what I said, and lots of understanding and patience is definitely needed to make the relationship work. Because in a relationship, it takes two hands to clap. It cannot be only one party doing the job all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mine would be, I agree with the secure attachment style is the best. Because I think I have conversations with my friends and everything that, oh my god, I want to be like this TikToker where they have, or even myself, when you see TikTokers or videos of couples being so secure and being able to communicate properly, you think that's the best thing to have in life, right? But actually I'm sure they all went through phases in life to reach where they are at, and I'm sure that's not just the ideal attachment style. I'm sure there's ways for you to problem solve situation when you have different attachment style with each other. Yeah.
Right. So in the past, I actually thought that people with insecure attachment styles, specifically more avoidant, were less attached than those who were secure. But I've come to actually realize that it's not that they're any less attached. It's just that was how their needs were met previously in the past, and that was how they learned to protect themselves emotionally. So avoidant individuals, for example, they might appear distant or uninterested, but that's just, a strategy that they develop to cope with the unmet needs or to avoid vulnerability. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they care any less. It's just that that's their way of showing attachment, or dealing with connection, differences in the connection. So this tells us that sometimes you can make mistakes, and we can oftentimes mistake someone else's distance for lack of care when it actually might not be the case. Okay, so next I asked Dr. Chew, how do popular interpretations of attachment styles differ from scientific understanding? Dr. Chew explained that one of the biggest differences lies in how stable people think attachment styles are. Popular media often suggests that attachment styles are fixed from infancy and heavily dictate how adult relationships are, but in the research community, this is actually a point of debate. So she highlighted that John Bowlby's original theory focused on how the instinct to stay close to caregivers in infancy translate to adult relationships. However, there are studies like Fraley's 2000s paper which show that only a moderate correlation between early attachment and adult relationships. So in other words, early experiences do matter, but they aren't the only thing that shapes how we connect with others as adults. Then I asked, can people change their attachment styles? And if so, what facilitates such change? So Dr. Chew explained, yes, attachment styles can change. Some theories propose that new experiences like healthy relationships, personal growth, or even therapy can rewrite old attachment presentations over time. So, for example, if someone grows up with an insecure attachment but experiences consistent support and love in adulthood, their style might change towards secure. And of course, the reverse can also happen. Like trauma and repeated negative
Yeah.
experience might make someone more insecure, and it's dynamic. So, what do you think? Do you believe attachment styles can truly change, or do you see them as fixed? Dr. Chew also shared advice for building healthier relationships if someone has an insecure attachment style. Instead of focusing solely on strategies, she suggests that maybe we should reflect some key questions. Number one being, does my partner's behavior bring out the best or worst in me? Or questions like, are they there for me when I need them to? Or, lastly, do I feel like I can rely on them, and can they rely on me? Quick comments.
Yes, definitely. Because those are questions that made me realize, like, hey, this partner or my partner back then wasn't good enough for me. That was why I chose to no longer continue it anymore. And I think even though as much as it may hurt the person that were thinking about it, right? Because you don't want to face the truth. But like I said earlier on, sometimes it's necessary in order to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And for me, because it's a long-term relationship, obviously these questions bound to happen in your brain and when you self-reflect. But at the end of the day, it's your own process of understanding the person. So whether it actually meets your needs is up to you, and you shouldn't worry so much about other people and worry more about yourself.
Yeah.
Right. I think Dr. Chew really hit the spot on this one, and she shared some really valuable advice. Alright, so let's wrap up some final thoughts on today's episode. In this episode, we explored the fascinating world of attachment styles, how they shape our relationships, and their impact on communication, conflict resolution, and mental health. We hope it's given you some insights into our own personal patterns and relationships, and maybe even sparked some reflection. Last episode, we introduced ourselves and also shared a bit about what this podcast is all about. So if you missed that and want to get to know us better, please check that out. Looking ahead, our next episode will dive into personality. We will be exploring topics like self-discovery, personality traits, and how they influence our behavior and relationships. If that piques your interest, keep an eye out. You won't want to miss it. A huge thank you to Dr. Chew for her valuable insights. Her expertise really added depth and clarity to our discussions. So, what are your thoughts on today's episode? Have you reflected on your own attachment style or learned something new? Let us know in the comments or drop us the DM on Instagram at sim_PSYSOC. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you all for sipping and chatting with us on Psych-sip Sessions. Until next time, focus on growing the relationships that bring you peace and happiness. Bye!